Hey everybody, welcome into Warp Factor 10, our show about all things Star Trek here on the Arena Productions. I'm your host Expat, and we're going to talk in this episode about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 4, Episode 5, titled Empathological Fallacies. And before we get started talking about the episode, just want to let all of you know that this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap and review of the episode. I'm going to go through some of the really cool bits of the episode. So there's going to be spoilers throughout. So that's your spoiler warning. If you have not watched the episode, please go to Paramount Plus and watch it, and then come back and enjoy this episode. So with that said, that's your spoiler warning. So let's go ahead and get into Empathological Fallacies, which I really loved. And like I've been saying before throughout season 4 so far, these first 4 episodes, I'm really loving T'Lyn, this lieutenant. She's crossed over from the Vulcan ship to basically take notes on the crew of the Cerritos, and to monitor and study them and study their their emotions and how they do things. And in this episode, it's really funny how we get to know a lot about T'Lyn, especially the relationship between T'Lyn and Mariner. We're going to see that later, but and we also get, of course, more of Boimler, and obviously Boimler gets completely stressed out, and emotionally, this episode is just all about emotions. And obviously, we get the 3 Betazoid women who are kind of they're supposed to be diplomats, and they're being shuttled from the Cerritos over to Risa. But we find out later on in the episode, of course, that they are security officers that are monitoring what's been going on throughout the quadrant, especially with this mystery ship. And we're going to talk about that towards the end of the episode. But yeah, I mean, I just loved how in the beginning, of course, all the flirtation. You see the commander there. He's talking about, I get off of duty pretty soon, and then the one Betazoid goes, I like them hard to get, and so Commander Ransom there, I thought that was pretty funny. He's like starting to beg them, to give him attention. But yeah, so they're talking about partying, and T'Lyn's just she's not having it, and so she tries to send a message to her former crew and her former ship saying she wants to go back, but communications are down because obviously transporting these Betazoids is a priority mission, and so they have communications all locked up, so no communications could get off the ship. But and then, of course, going into sick bay and seeing the doctor, and there's the banter between them about, hundreds of years ago, her species used to hunt and eat Betazoids. I thought that was pretty funny, and it was funny throughout the episode too. And I think, yeah, there she was trying to heal Billups, and then of course she got distracted. But yeah, so T'Lyn, I mean, it's so interesting how she goes and she starts to monitor all of them in, of course, the bar, and now they're starting to, all of the crew members' emotions are starting to just go crazy. But then we get, of course, Boimler, and Boimler's upset because he can't memorize all of the crew members' names, and so Rutherford's trying to calm him down, but it's not working. And so Rutherford gets in contact with security to get him to do like a test. And obviously throughout the episode, we get Boimler coming in and watching the security officers do poems on Worf. And then obviously another security test that he has to do. He opens the box, and we get little tidbits and Easter eggs of Lieutenant Malcolm Reed from Enterprise. I thought that was really cool as well. And of course, we then they were playing charades, and we get Constable Odo of Deep Space Nine, getting back into the bucket there. So I thought that was pretty cool. So we get Worf, we get Odo, we get Malcolm Reed, Lieutenant Malcolm Reed from Enterprise in this episode. But yeah, this whole episode centers around Talin, and it's funny how first she is thinking that it's the Betazoids that have some kind of, could possibly be the ones that are projecting all of this and making all of the crew members freak out and do really crazy and stupid things. So they think it was like the Betazoid, the syndrome. It's like a Bantai syndrome or whatever it's called. And unfortunately, it was actually uh, you know, it was Talin and the Vulcan syndrome. I think it's a Bendai syndrome that that they were that the scan showed that it was detecting. But it was funny how Talin was saying to Mariner that it's usually found in elderly people, but I'm only 62 years old. And then Mariner's like, oh really, what's that? Oh, 62 years old, you look great, by the way. And then Boimler had this like quarter life crisis. When he turned 25, he grew a mustache, and it was all, it was crazy. That was so funny. But anyway, so we find out, of course, obviously Talin is the one projecting all these emotions, and that's why the crew is acting crazy, and they go after them. And then, of course, the Mariner and Talin lock themselves in a storage room, and that's the part of the episode I really love the most. Is Talin comes out and says that she's a failure as a Vulcan, and that she actually saved the crew of her ship when they were, having some problems with the Klingons and everything, and then the captain, basically kicked her off the ship for being insubordinate and all. And it was funny how Mariner just came out and was like, your captain is a beep, and stuff like that. So, and your crew is just a bunch of beep beep, it's just, basically, she was telling Talin that you're the most sane person that I know, and that that what they did to you was basically terrible, and she was bringing up Spock's father, that even he had Bendai syndrome, and that basically calmed Talin down. And then by calming her down, it made people go back to normal. And it was so funny how, like, it just right away everybody just turned back to normal. It's like, the you see the replicator destroyed, and he's like, boop, 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 and of course Ransom on the floor there, half naked. He's like, oh, so I thought that was so funny. But then anyway, towards the end of the episode, the Betazoids and Captain Freeman, Captain Freeman was apologizing, mistakenly, thinking that it was the Betazoid affliction, where it was the Vulcan affliction. I mean, then of course the one Betazoid gave her the pad, the information pad that had an image that was taken from a Betazoid monitoring station, and it shows a kind of a blurred image of the ship that's been destroying ships throughout the quadrant there in the previous episodes. And so, yeah, like I said before, I think we're getting close to the confrontation between this mystery ship and the Cerritos. But anyway, let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode. I thought it was great, and the character of Talin is awesome. I mean, she is the stability on this ship, where all the craziness and all the wacky activities going on. She is, she is the emotionally stable person, the most emotionally stable person, I think, on this show. And it's a good balance to have on the Cerritos. But anyway, let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. And if you like this video, please be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell before we drop another episode of Warp Factor 10 or any of our other content here on the Arena production. So I've been your host, Expat, and we look forward to bringing you another recap and review episode of Star Trek Lower Decks next week. So until then, live long and prosper, and have a great week, everyone. Peace out.